I
I
hear
had
things now.
I had my mic muted.
You're a bad person.
It
You
is
should feel
blinking
bad.
red at me. Yeah, yeah. I have a surprise. But wait. Um. Rhyme free, it doesn't matter to me. It's my bad poetry.
I'm waiting for my heart to stop, its eyes from rolling.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say from the palpitations of excitement.
No! So good.
I don't know. I think I'm gonna have to do some more editing. That's a rough draft.
Sure. I will have full instrumentation. I've been playing more trombone.
Oh my gosh, Dave.
We're gonna have it's gonna be all of the instruments I know. So it's gonna be very basic piano. It's gonna be the worst mandolin you've ever heard. It's gonna be a ukulele and a different ukulele and another
How
ukulele.
many ukes do you have?
I have four ukuleles.
Oh,
I've got two sopranos, one concert, and one baritone. I'm a cool person, Aaron.
oh man. Well, shall we?
Let's do this.
Okay. Good day, and welcome to My Bad Poetry, a podcast where we take a deep dive into my dabbling with poetry, primarily between 2004 and 2008 when I was in high school. Each week, we hear a selection read aloud for what may be the first time, and we will examine it for its historical, philosophical, and literary qualities, always asking, why in the world did I write this? I am dragging my dear friend Dave with me on this journey into my old private journal. Dave, how do you feel exercising these demons with me?
Well, it feels like a marathon. Get it? Because it's exercising? No, no.
Oh, no, I didn't get that.
I tried my hand at comedy. Uh, did not like it. Felt wrong.
Yeah,
I'll learn from that.
yeah, crickets from me there. Well, let's see what 15-year-old Aaron had in store for us. I looked back on the day here because I wrote four poems on the same day, and I was
Mm-hmm.
trying to figure out what might have happened that day. Still no clue, but it was in November of 2005, and it was a Monday. Mondays, right?
Mondays, man.
Yeah.
Aaron and Garfield.
So here's our poem for episode 6. This poem is titled Shadows. Shadows cloud my vision. I see no light of day. Loneliness shadows my eyes. The clouds grow.
So remember how last week I was complimentary?
Mm-hmm.
I think I might have made a mistake.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
I think so too. Either that or I used all my creativity on the first poem of the day, and this was just like the sludge left after.
You were brewing a nice beer, and the first poem was the good beer, and this is just the leftover hops and whatnot, like the dregs at the bottom of the barrel.
So first impressions, pretty good, right?
I'm I'm honestly not too opposed to this one.
Okay.
Do you know? I don't remember who wrote it. Maybe it's Handel. His opera Samson.
That sounds like Handel, yeah.
There's a song, Total Eclipse.
Of the heart?
Yes, Total Eclipse of the Heart, written by Handel.
In his 80s phase, yep.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of that a little bit, which I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Total Eclipse is
To
beautiful.
be compared to Handel is by far and away too good of a compliment.
Well, let's be fair. Handel, he's a composer, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not exactly a poet, not known for his lyrics.
Yeah, yeah. I'm actually not familiar with Total Eclipse. Do you know any of the words offhand that's like reminding you of this? Or
uh, well, in the recitative, man, I am getting real cool.
yeah, I know this is shaping up to be your episode, Dave.
It's where I come into my own.
Mm-hmm.
So what is it? Total eclipse, no sun, no moon, all dark to me. I don't this isn't great because I remember I sang it in high school and I'm struggling to remember the words out of context and I'm not going to sing it.
I think it's in the public domain. You'd be fine. Go for it.
Yeah, it's in the public domain. Uh but it's not in the domain of the public's ears. I was trying to make a
Yeah.
pun. It
Mm-hmm.
didn't happen. It didn't
Yeah,
happen. It didn't
you're
work.
just you're crashing and burning today.
Rude, but true.
To critique myself, I definitely wouldn't do the repetition of the word shadows twice within the poem.
Hmm.
I feel like loneliness shadows my eyes is that's a clunky line. I'd probably do like loneliness shades my eyes.
I will play devil's advocate here. I think that that's an interesting way of doing that because you've got it as a noun. Shadows cloud my vision, and cloud, which is often a noun, as the verb. And then you've got loneliness shadows my eye. I like the balance of using it both as a noun and as a verb.
So, are you familiar with Hebrew poetry?
I believe that you know that I am familiar with Hebrew poetry because we took at least one Hebrew poetry class
Yes, we
together.
did. Yeah. You pointing out the parallelism of the shadows and the loneliness line reminds me a lot of Hebrew poetry. The
Right.
rhyming of similar images, kind of the flip flopping of words that you see all the
Mm-hmm.
time running throughout Psalms.
Right. I think that's a good comparison. I wonder if that is something that I mean, obviously you didn't know about Hebrew rhyming and you didn't know about Hebrew poetry in high school, but as someone who grew up in the faith, I wonder if that isn't a pattern that you subconsciously picked up.
Yeah, honestly, I subconscious maybe. I don't remember diving into the Psalms. Um,
Mm,
I mean, everyone knows Psalm 23, but beyond that, it wasn't really a passion of mine or something that I went to.
sure.
But, I mean, then again, I did grow up in a congregation where every Sunday we recited the Psalms. So
Right.
that repetition and the what is the word? I always say it wrong. We'll now say the Psalms responsively.
No, responsibly.
Yeah, that's what I normally say.
Ladies and gentlemen, please remember to psalm responsively.
Oh no.
Come on. I am trying here. I am throwing out comedic gold. And by comedic gold, I mean bottom of the trash heap.
But no, I do wonder if that did influence kind of my pattern of poetry, that type
Hmm.
of repetition or that kind of what word am I looking for here? Rhythm.
Sure. Yeah.
I think moving forward, I'm going to listen more for a psalmic rhythm.
That's fair. That's fair. Well, and the other thing I'm noticing in this is shadows. In a lot of poetry, I hear language about like darkness,
Mm,
and that has taken on different meaning for me in recent years because of my still very rudimentary understanding of racism,
mhm.
something I'm still trying to understand better. So in the Bible, I hear a lot of that language too of darkness. And one of the ways I've talked about that is I've moved my language to use shadow instead, because shadow doesn't have the same connotation. And I'm noticing that in this, you're using so many ways of saying darkness, but without using that word. Again, I don't think it's intentional, but that is something I'm noticing.
Wow, yeah. You're giving my former self way too much credit there. I mean, the context in which this would have been written was deeply embedded in, I mean, white supremacy. I mean, that hasn't
Mm,
changed. I mean, we're living in 21st century America, but
right.
yeah, I don't think I would have been aware of the negative connotation around darkness and the ways in which we usually associate dark with evil, and
Hmm.
how that has been horribly twisted.
Right.
I think something else that this gets at is that sense of isolation that so many people go through in high school.
Mm.
And trust me, we will find more following that theme going forward. But this might be one of the first times that that's acknowledged. I'm trying to think back on the last five that we've done, but I don't. I think loneliness is new to the canon here.
Even though you've done one on like one of the poems was I, it was self-definitional. It was solely about yourself, but at the same time, there wasn't really loneliness in that poem.
Well, if anyone stumbles upon this podcast, first of all, sorry. Um,
You're
if you
welcome.
haven't been immediately put upon this by one of us,
Hmm.
then good on you, I guess. I don't know.
you you are a very intrepid explorer of what is a crazy
You
weird
have
medium.
dug deep, my friend, and hit the bottom of the barrel. But if you truly have found yourself feeling any of these feelings, um, no, you're not alone.
Hmm.
We all go through it. The clouds grow also reminds me that just sounds like a movie trailer.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah,
gotcha.
that
Don De La Fontaine. This summer, clouds grow.
exactly. One of the most consequential movie trailers in my lifetime was the release of the Lord of the Rings Return of the King trailer, which came out at a point when we had dial up internet that was so slow. It took me 3 hours to buffer that thing so I could watch that 3 minute trailer for every little detail, to see that glimpse of Shelob and to memorize the dialogue. And let me finish here, Dave. Gandalf talks about how the oh man, I'm gonna misquote it here. The board is set, the pieces are moving. I
Ah,
love that line. I love that line. It gave me goosebumps every time I watched that stinking trailer. And I know that was from 2003, right? So
sure. I don't know.
so I still hear that influence in this here. The shadows, the clouds grow. That is Gandalf speaking in my ears. And I
Oh,
almost guarantee that that's what I was that had some influence.
I just want to say thank you for moving us back onto firm grounds of what this podcast was founded on. Me making fun of you for being such a nerd.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
Nerd.
definitely made that shift again. But may I remind you, you have four ukuleles in your house.
No, I have two ukuleles at home and two ukuleles at my
Oh
office.
gosh.
Don't worry, Aaron, it's much worse than you thought. But I see what you mean. Like that line there. And I'm thinking of other lines from Gandalf or even Legolas there. He had a couple of those, like the he is coming or yeah, he is here.
It's those like definitive like statements.
It's your care for the use of the English language that really makes your poetry You're welcome. There we go. I finally landed a joke. Woo!
But I mean that this poem just drips of that. It drips
No.
of movie trailer lingo. So what we're saying is this poem Shadows takes its influence from Psalms and movie
Mm-hmm.
trailers. Mm-hmm.
Yes. I mean, what is the Book of Psalms if not just movie trailers?
The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. He makes me to lie down in green pastures.
No?
That it works surprisingly
It
well.
works. I think that's why this poem kind of works, is that it let's be honest, it's not Shakespeare, but
Bronte,
it
thank you.
is it is yes. Bronte didn't write
Oh,
poetry?
Dave,
No? Bronte, am I crazy here?
there's
Bronte
there's
is with her.
there's
Oh,
multiple sisters.
yes, there
Mhm.
are.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Jerk. Yeah.
You were saying I'm no
Um,
Shakespeare, but
you're no Shakespeare, but I think what you're talking about is something pretty universal in how people feel lonely. And when you look at it, you can see it from the perspective of a high schooler. But at the same time, that loneliness is something that people still experience. But oftentimes we're kind of talked out of talking about it in that way. You know, like we're talked out of using poetry or journals or however we want to express it. And we're told, especially as men, that what you do is you take those feelings and you push them down and cram them down until they turn into a kidney stone.
mm-hmm.
So I think maybe this is a good lesson for us to learn that even if it's not great poetry, you can still learn from it and you can still use it to express who you are.
Yeah, yeah. You know how I'm gonna ruin that perfect thing that you just said.
Good.
Um, you know how if you are a little inebriated and you puke and you feel better.
A tactical puke, I
Sorry, Mom.
understand.
Um, it's been many years. Don't worry.
Nope, we're diving into this. This is the new podcast. The Aaron Ralph watching.
No. So you feel better from a tactical puke. I like that phrase.
Mhm.
I feel like my poetry in this journal was just word vomit
Yeah,
for the anxiety, the stress, the just mixed emotions that every kid goes through.
right.
Yeah, and to have that outlet, I think was I assume was helpful.
No, because Aaron, I also had anxiety when I was in high school, and I just dealt with it by, overeating and hating myself. And I feel like that's a much healthier outlet,
Mm.
right?
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
No?
Yeah,
Incorrect?
no,
That's
no.
bad? Maybe we should learn to express ourselves? Maybe it's good to talk about these things
It's
and not
probably
bury our
nice. It's probably
feelings?
nice to talk. Yeah. With all this in mind, with our conversation on shadows,
Mm-hmm.
good or garbage, Dave?
Good or garbage? I think that there's good in here. So, on a scale of good to garbage, this is repurposed garbage artwork.
Oh, okay.
So, like, someone took garbage out of a trash can and turned it into something. Because I think a lot of what's good in this is what you can pull out of it. No offense.
None taken.
Never mind. Offense is meant. I'm sorry. That was too nice.
Oh,
Going back on my
that's
word.
fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we will end this with good poetry as always. A cleansing of the palate for what we have put you through, and to put you on to better words than these. So our
Right.
selection to close us out today is a selection from the poet A Picture by Olivia Ward Bush Banks. I drew a picture long ago, a picture of a sullen sea, a picture that I value now because it clears life's mystery. My sea was dark and full of gloom. I painted rocks of somber hue. My sky alone bespoke of light, and that I painted palest blue.
Well, thank you for tuning in to My Bad Poetry. Now go write your own terrible poetry.
Yes!
Something
Go
like
do
that?
that. Yeah.
Go destroy the English language, much how Aaron already has.
One word vomit at a time. Rhyme or free, doesn't matter. It's my bad poetry.